How's it going, everyone? This is a quick review of the Simgot EW300. So it comes in this nice pouch, some rings, filter, nozzle. For review purposes, I'm gonna review this IEM with the stack tuning and whatever stack nozzle was on it. And then I got the SpinFit CP100s. Let's talk about the build, cable, and fit. So Simgot is doing an excellent job with their cables. I really like this. It's soft, pliable, doesn't tangle up, and it's braided, which helps with the tangling. So that's good. And then the build is solid. You could hear it. It's not going to break or fall apart. One thing I wanted to mention is I'm not really a fan of this design. It's a little too girly for me. It's not something I would wear in public, or it doesn't fit my, I guess, like my style. This is not something, it's a part of my style. But regardless, overall solid build, cable, and fit. And yeah, so let's talk about the sound quality itself. So I would say this has like a pretty typical type of tuning. So starting with the bass, it has like a solid dynamic driver bass. And you could listen to any hip hop or rap, like Hulu by Pierre Bourne, Chief Keef, maybe some Kanye, Kid Cudi, whatever. I felt like, so after hearing different drivers in the bass, I will say like balanced armature bass sounds completely different from dynamic driver bass. And then bone conduction sounds different from the other two. And then when you mix those drivers, you can get like a concoction of like a different sound quality. Yeah, so to me, like balanced armature bass, if it's not well implemented, it doesn't have like a low tactile sensation. And then a dynamic driver bass, what I found out is it's pretty hard to have it sound controlled and tactile at the same time. Because what happens often is the dynamic driver is just gonna sound slightly boomy at times, and it lacks a bit of definition in my opinion, compared to something that has like a bone conduction and a BA. I feel like the BAs in the bass always have excellent definition and control when it's well implemented, obviously. And then the bone conduction, you just feel the sound in your ear more. Like you actually feel it, not just hear it. But yeah, that was a quick little thing I noticed. So yeah, the bass on this, it sounds very, very much like a dynamic driver in the sense that it has a lot of rumbliness, and at times it could sound slightly boomy, but to me this is like a lot of dynamic driver. So this does have like a boomy dynamic driver-esque bass that sounds really, really good. It's good quality bass. The driver they're using for the bass is very, very nice. It just sounds fun, engaging, and maybe it's not the most analytical or studio accurate, but for what it is and what they're trying to accomplish. So if you buy some sets in like the $20 to $30 price point, they're gonna usually have like decent bass, but it could have really good treble and mids. So where I think this takes it up a notch from those cheaper pairs is I'm getting a solid bass sound. I would say the bass is probably one of my most favorite things about this earphone, because it just adds like a nice level of separation. So when you're listening to songs that have like sub bass and then those drums and instruments, with these it doesn't really, the bass doesn't get in the way of any of those instruments or guitars or trumpets or a mandolin, whatever. The bass is pretty much in line. It's not a bass head IEM, but it just gives you the right amount of that not impact. Impact is more of the quality of the bass, but this just gives you like that almost like that subwoofer type dynamic driver bass, where it's not the most perfectly controlled, but it's giving you good bass. That's how the bass sounds. I would say it doesn't have too much mid bass. It does focus on the sub bass more, which is good. And then let's talk about like the vocals, male and female. I thought the vocals, male and female, were pretty much in line, like how I wanted it to sound. It didn't sound completely out of place, or it didn't sound muffled, veiled, or nasally. It didn't have any of those characteristics. So yeah, male and female vocals, it's well rounded. You're gonna get a good body. It's not gonna be a pitch black background where it's like very focused on the singer. Because at times, because this IEM, it doesn't have, I would say it has like average levels of separation. And for this price point, I would say it's still maybe slightly above average. So at times when you're listening to very complex compositions, at times it could sound a little congested, where it would have been nicer if there was slightly more separation maybe. But again, I'm just talking. This is an $80 earphone, so can't expect it to be top of the line. And then and then the treble, I would say the treble is all right. It is better than like some cheaper sets. I'm not gonna name any name, but if you follow my channel, you know. So the treble on this is maybe a little bit more pronounced than some of those cheaper sets. And yeah, so I would say like the mids and vocals, the treble, they're not my favorite part about this IEM. To me, this is more of like a fun, bassy IEM, but it's still slightly technical at the same time, but not being too bassy to the point where it's distracting. So that's how I would describe this IEM. Yeah, and then I guess one area I could improve on is I guess the soundstage imaging and the depth department. I'm not really getting like pockets of sound in different spots. And I'm sure if they just put more drivers and did something, they can make it better. But then it would cost a lot more too. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty solid IEM. I mean, I listened to it. I thought it was pretty decent. So out of 10, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. It's just really good. But I have to listen to more other pairs maybe. Compare other things, because I think this is like the first IEM I reviewed that's like $60. There were some others I reviewed that are like $20 or $100. But yeah, overall, like, I would buy this over the LM. The EM6L, it was okay to me, but this has better bass. So I think I would maybe go with this one over those. But they're all around the same ballpark. You're not going to get a huge upgrade regardless of which one you go for. At the end of the day, to get really good sound, you might have to spend at least a couple hundred on an IEM. But if you have like a studio monitor, even then you have to spend thousands. So yeah, overall 8 out of 10 on these. I do recommend them. And just some feedback for the company. So I think they should get rid of this nozzle. It's just not good. Just make it one tuning. I don't think people who are hardcore audiophiles or really care about these tuning nozzles. And yeah, basically that. And get rid of this heart exo stuff. Like, I'm not sure who's into that. Or it's just for like little kids, it feels like. But yeah, anyways, solid IEM, good sound, good build. For the price, it's just about right. So 8 out of 10, I do recommend it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.